Good morning, everyone. Hello, hello. Welcome. Welcome to another Wednesday class. I'm Basti. You should have had Shakura this morning. Unfortunately, she hasn't been able to make it to run the class, but she may be able to say hello in the chat. We've also got Dinah in the chat. So please do say hello from wherever you are, and we'll get started on this lovely Wednesday morning class. We are starting around again. Simonetta straight in, hello. Anyone else around to say hello? Hello Sally. We have, starting again in our full round of all of the different elements, we're starting again with, I'm going to get the slides up just so you can see it. Good morning, everyone. The metal element. So you may remember we've shown, here we go, this. And it goes around in a sort of almost like a clock of all of the different elements and the timings that they happen. Now, it's not autumn, which is the metal element. But this is what we start with, especially in the daytime. So it starts at sort of 3 till 5 in the morning with the lung energy. And so if you happen to find yourself awake at that time, then you can always exercise the lungs. And if not, maybe there'll just be some inspiration for you, which is part of the lung energy. So I'll take these slides down. I'm going to do the usual thing. So if you have your paper at hand, then we shall make some notes. When you're ready, you can come to standing up or sitting comfortably. And we're going to start, as I like to normally start, with just taking a moment to get a sense of the circle, of the group. Imagine a circle of all of us here, all of the people who are joining in as we stream it live, as well as later on when people are watching replays. So just, here's the group, here's the starting moment. Thank you very much for enjoying and taking part. It makes it what it is. Excellent. Okay, so we're going to do some scans, usual thing. So we're going to do a scan of the whole body, and then we'll do 3 burners, and then we'll check in with a poll as to which burner you would like to focus on. So beginning here, attention to the top of the head. We're going to scan down through the head, through the skull, the face, all the sense organs in the face. Just noticing how you are. Come to the neck, back of the neck, sides and front. How's your neck today? Through the shoulders and out to the shoulder arm joints. And let's travel down the arm. So how's the upper arm today? Scanning down the elbow, the forearms, into the more intricate wrists, hands and fingers. Okay, and then come back up to the top of the chest and upper back. And scan down through the rib cage, front, sides, back of the rib cage, and inside as well. How are the organs? How's the feeling of you inside your torso? Noticing any areas that just catch your attention for whatever quality they have, through the belly, through the spine, through the pelvis, sacrum, hip joints, and down through the legs, upper legs, largest bone in the body, through the knees, largest joint in the body, and through the calf muscles and around the shins, the ankles, and then into the finer bones and tendons and muscles of the feet and toes, and just connect with the ground for a moment. Okay, get a whole picture of your whole self. How are you today? Okay. And if you want to, you can bring your attention back into the room. So, in fact, if you've got paper and pen, just make a note of that. I'm going to make a quick picture. Okay. And then we're going to scan into the 3 burning spaces. So when you are ready, we'll come to the lower burner first. I'm sure you've all done this, but it's from the belly button down to the top of the pubic bone. So that's your space. You can have hand front, back, just the front. Just tune into this whole space in yourself and just notice what it's like in there. And if that was an image, how would you draw it? Yeah. Okay, we're going to bring our attention to the middle burner, which is from the belly button up to the diaphragm, which is about just level with where the ribs pretty much meet. So we've done that space, now we're doing this space. And tuning into the middle burner, how's that feeling? Is it any different from the lower burner? Just check in with the lower burner again. Okay, middle burner. Yeah. And lastly, we'll go from the diaphragm to the collarbones, upper burner. This is where we'll have some of our focus today anyway, but let's just see what the upper burner is like. Interesting. Okay. And if you want to, just check in, is it any different from the middle burner? Yeah. Well, for me, very different. And so if you have your paper and pen, you can make a note, words, images, anything you want to do. Okay, this is going to look rather strange, but this is my image for today. So a bit of tension up top, not enough energy in the legs, quite an open upper burner, but a very tight middle burner, and the lower burner could do with some stuff. So that's me. But let's do a poll for you of which burner do you want to work on most today? So let's see how you're all doing. And so there's a few of you coming in already with upper and middle. It's good, good, good. Nice. I mean, we have had some lovely, here in Norfolk, kind of April showers and clearing stuff. And it's now just really opened up and nice and sunny. So maybe that sort of openness is part of what personally I'm feeling. Be interesting to see. So we've got about 70% of us have answered, and we've got most of us here saying upper burner is what we would like to work on. Well, that's convenient. We're obviously going to work on all of them. Here we go. I'm just going to shift the camera a little bit so that make sure that I've got enough space there. There we go. So we can see if I need to stick my arms up in the air, we can see it. Right, so we're going to get started. The first thing I'd like us to do, uncharacteristically for these classes, the first thing I'd like us to do is to find the point of the week and to have a little play with it, just to see what it feels like. And then we'll come back to it later once we've done some more work and got more Qi flowing. I hope that makes sense. So this is sort of like a, I'm just going to play with it. So I'm going to get the slides up again. and lung 1. Now, if you've done this class before, I'm sure you will have done lung 1 before. So hopefully you can see where it is. Basically, if you can find your collarbone, where the collarbone meets the shoulder, then you're just down in the intercostal space, the space between the first and the second rib. So let me get this book, because I feel like this is quite a good way of showing. Whoops. Oh, let me drop the slide for a moment. Here we go. So, as you can see in this image, you've got where the shoulder is, and you've got where the collarbone is, and there's a point there, but we want to drop down to that more black point. So I hope that makes sense. And the lung 1, well, let's just feel it. Let's just feel it. So if your arm is out, feel for your collarbone, feel for your shoulder. So there's my shoulder. That's where my shoulder starts. As you can see, it's kind of dipped in, and that's where my collarbone is. And you want to drop down, and you sort of drop down by about 1 thumb's width. So that's where the two meet, collarbone, shoulder. And I drop down by about a thumb's width, and you head in. So you can just kind of relax in with the thumb, or you can use fingers. As you can see, look, my finger's going in. Just seeing how that feels. And I'm sorry that you can't make the polls work. You can always let us know in the chat. Okay. So, be interesting to see what that's like. We're going to try the other side as well. So remember, you've got the collarbone here. Follow that bone out to where it meets the shoulder. What I'll do is I'll just show you. Here, you can see that where the collarbone meets the shoulder. And then you're going to drop down by about a thumb's width. And you're just going to sink in. Just sink in. And just notice what it's like. Where does it affect? Does it affect locally? Is it affecting elsewhere in the body, or more of a sense of how you are? Just noticing what it's like. Okay. So we're just noticing at the moment what that point is like, what the quality of connecting to it is like. Maybe nothing at all. Upper boner as well, Anne. Well, we're going to get to that. So notice what it was like. You're welcome to put in the chat if you would like to, what it felt like to work on the area. Really sharp? Yeah, it can be, very much. But maybe that's a sign that something needs to shift there as well. So we're going to work on that. Be interested to see how it is later, Jane. And it affects my breath, says Simonetta. Excellent. Okay, we will come to the actions of this point again later. We're going to get moving, going to get some chi flowing, and we're going to see what will happen afterwards. Yeah, painful, says Kim. It may be that there's a bit of a blockage in the area. It can be. And I'm finding at the moment some tension in that area. So hopefully it'll be eased up later. So let's all come to standing. Find yourself about hip to shoulder width apart with the feet. And we're just going to get a little bit of a loosening going, shaking bits of the body out. Don't forget the face if you need to. Anywhere that was an obvious place for you that you noticed when scanning. So I noticed shoulders and neck, so I'm giving those a bit of a shake out. You may want to be focusing on somewhere else for you. So maybe if it was, lower back, you might want to be doing something like that, just gently, or whatever was right for you. So You can use breath and sound as you need to. Okay, and then just take the shaking just gently into the whole body. Until it just gets a little bit smaller, and a little bit smaller, until it seems like the outer body is not really doing anything, but there's still a bit of movement going on the inside. And just allow that to settle and settle and settle deeper and deeper, until a sense of stillness in there starts to settle in. Okay. So we're going to focus on the lower burner to begin with, and there's a good reason to connect with the kidneys and the lower burner before we work on the lung, because when the lung brings in the heavens Qi from the air around us, it is said to descend, because it's like the very top organ. It's talked about like the canopies, the top canopies of trees in a rainforest. They catch all of the light and the top of the air, all around them, and then they can descend that quality down. And it is the kidneys that then catches some of that as it is descended. So when we draw that lovely heavens Qi in, the kidney catches it, and that forms a better, stronger bond of Qi in the body. Okay, so let's connect with the kidneys. So find that lower burner, place the hands on the front in the lower burner, and we're just going to do some circling just to warm the area up and get a bit of movement going in that lower burner. Just in the lower burner, not all the way around the belly, just the lower. And as the warmth and the energy and intention comes through the hands, try to have a sense of it sending right through towards the back here. Nice. So it's almost like you're massaging right through to the lower spine and the kidneys, right in the back. Okay. Just a little bit more. And then, okay, if you can, reach round to the back of the kidneys. You can use the backs of your hands, or you can use the palms, whichever you prefer. And just do some rubbing of the actual kidneys. And if you can't do that, then you can tap the front lightly. It's almost like you're tapping, again, right through to the back. And just a brief bit of rubbing the kidneys. Whatever's right for you. Just a bit of warming through the area. Okay. Now, let's tap down the bladder channel, backs of the legs, middle of the back of the legs. And then we turn the toes out and tap up the inner back of the legs for kidney. Bladder, down to the little toe, and then inner aspect of the back of the leg for kidney. One last time. Okay. We've opened out the channel a bit more. But let's do our usual kidney one. Get into the kidney 1 point. So, as you can see, nice, obvious red to white, and we're in that top third, and the point is just below the ball of the foot. Yeah, kidney 1. Everybody loves a bit of kidney 1. It's great. If nothing else, it's just relieving to have our feet squeezed. Second to that is it can bring a bit of energy and a bit of attention away from the head and the upper body where we hold more tension generally. And then there's all of the wonderful points that we've always gone on about with kidney 1. And this is to help open up kidney 1. And you can squeeze it all around the sole of the foot as well. It's all good. And now, with Shiatsu, and I'm sure you've all experienced receiving Shiatsu, we work with extensions of the channels that are in classical Chinese medicine. Now, there is an extension of the lung channel that runs just underneath the blade of the foot here, and then it runs just above the kidney channel. So let's squeeze into this. Just underneath the blade of the side of the foot, and then just underneath the sort of lower aspect of the ball of the foot. And this is to get an extension of the kidney channel. So on the little toe side, and then just underneath the ball of the foot towards the large toe. That's the lung extension in the foot. Yeah, bubbling spring, gushing spring, Yongchuan, I think the name is in Chinese. And when we, other side. When we allow that feeling of the connection with the ground, then, sorry, just getting into that point feels really great. I just wanted to sit there for a moment with that. When we get into the feeling of connecting with the earth via our bubbling spring point, and we allow, rather than try to draw Qi up, we allow Qi to rise up, then it has that feeling of being like a bubbling spring, just gently rising up like water. And there's no effort involved. Work all around the lower foot. Give it a bit of a tap. And then again, this extension of the lung. So you've got the blade or the side of the foot that goes to the little toe, and you're just underneath it. So just getting into that. And then you're just along the lower edge of the ball of the foot. And this is the extension of the lung channel. Lovely. Okay. Oh, I don't really want to put my socks back on. I'm going to move this chair again. So, understanding again, or place the feet back on the ground if you're just sitting for the class. And just have that sense of the feet nice and open on the ground. Kidney 1 open, the channels nicely opened. Bring your hands to your lower burner. Okay, and as I was saying, it's that sense of connecting with the ground and allowing that quality to gently rise up like a bubbling spring, just coming through from the feet, through the legs, into the lower burner. Now we can add to this by taking a couple of breaths. So we're going to breathe in through, imagine that you're breathing in through the feet into the belly, and then breathing back out and sinking to connect with the ground. So take your attention to your feet and to the floor, to the ground. When you're ready, breathing in. Relax for a moment and breathe out. Back down to the ground. So breathing in from the ground through the legs. Let it settle in the lower burner with the kidneys, and relax, breathe out. Okay, last time. And relax, breathe out. Okay. How are the legs doing? Lovely. How's the lower burner feeling? Okay. So for me, a little more energized, which was what I was needing. Interesting to find out how your lower bone is feeling, if different from before. So we're going to go into the middle burner, and that is belly button up to diaphragm, and it has the liver, gallbladder, and the stomach and spleen. So we're just going to do a little bit of work in here. It wasn't one of the major, it wasn't the top one, but it was fairly close behind in wanting to be worked with. So the first thing we can do is find the belly button, place both hands over the belly button, and we're going to do big circles around the whole of the abdomen, but it's going in the direction of our intestines. So you're coming up on the right hand side, which is the ascending colon. You've got then the transverse colon and the descending colon, and then your small intestine in between. So we're doing this circle. And as you're doing this circle, have a sense of that warmth of your hands with a sort of a nourishing quality. Now you can imagine actual sort of milk and honey, or maybe warm, nourishing liquid, or a nice light, brightening your digestive system. Just something of that nature coming from the hands. I am nourished, I am warmed, I am light. Something along those lines. And then pick the speed up a little bit. So it's sort of encouraging the sort of the energeticness, the yang quality of your digestive system. Oh, yum, 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 yum. And a few more circles. Normally we do this 81 circles, which if you're moving this quickly, it only takes about 1 minute. We just try to feel a bit of yumminess in the belly. The belly wants to feel yummy. Okay, last few. And then just take that down the legs to the feet. So stroking from the belly, down the front of the legs to the feet. There we go. And just to make sure, find your kneecaps and just underneath the kneecap on the outer edge and just tap. Because that's one of the best points in the body. Stomach 36. Okay. And then of course we've got the liver gallbladder. Usual exercise for that we're going to do is the this twisting one. But before we do, I'd like you to just get this feeling of stretching out from the fingers and standing up straight with the legs, and then sinking in and drawing back in. It's almost like the stretchiness of the body. And then sinking back in. So feel it almost from the fingers and from the toes, stretching out and then drawing back in. You can use the breath if you want as well, whichever way you'd like. Do you want to breathe in when stretching out? And breathe out when sinking back in? Or is it the other way around? You want to breathe out this way and breathe in coming in. So this is a way of feeling the opening of all of the sinews and tendons and ligaments. And then a retraction of these things. Okay, this is a good liver gallbladder quality. Okay, then we're going to do feet hip to shoulder width apart. Make sure you're not going to hit the wall behind you, so I'm just going to come forwards. And then we're going to just turn from the hips, trying to keep the knees straight over the toes. So they're not collapsing inwards like that. They're staying straight. It's the hips that are turning. When you get that, just let the arms smoothly flow around. And if you were feeling weak or sort of a bit unstable in this middle burner area, then just keep to this slow, purposeful movement where it feels like you're building and holding, controlling the movement like this. If, however, you were, like my picture, very tight through here and it needs releasing, then you can put a bit more oomph into it and let the hands swing round. And when you get that going, you can choose where you want the hands to go. If you want to release a bit of tension in the shoulders, do it up here, in the ribs, do it here, in the hips, and go there. So you can kind of guide your hands where you want them to go. For a bit more of a release. And don't forget to breathe. And remember, if you're needing more stability, just doing it nice and slowly and purposefully. Try to allow the sort of the hips to be soft and the sacrum to be sinking down. It helps with the movement. Okay. And then just let that start to gently, gently close. Not close, but let go. So that you're not just stopping the movement, you're allowing it to carry on of its own accord until there's almost no movement left. And the movement just becomes an internal wiggle until eventually that can be let go of as well. Nice. Okay, step out. So let's just check in again with the middle burner. How's that doing now? Okay, maybe needs just a little bit of tapping down. So let's tap down the ribs, sides of the ribs, other side. And then go from the lower ribs over the hips, all around the hips, the sides of the pelvis. Okay, and then we're going to go down the outside edges of the legs, and then up the inside aspect of the legs, a bit like following the line in your trousers. Back to the ribs and down again. Okay. And just brush that down. What time are we at so far? Oh, good, 33 minutes. So, I'm just quite interested to notice, how does this sort of stretching out the tendons quality feel now? Shall we give this a go? So again, you're starting off with your legs a bit bent, hands just sort of reaching out, standing up straight, maybe even coming up onto your toes, and then sinking the sinews, the tendons, feeling them retract back in. How easy does it feel? How different does it feel? Bring your attention just into your body, into the quality of your sinews, your tendons, your tightness and flexibility. Okay. It does somehow feel a little bit smoother to me. And a little bit easier. Okay. Oh, well, that's great. And now finally, to the upper burner. So, Let's do heart protector triple heater stretch like we often do, where you start off a bit like you're going for a dive, and it stretches round here. That's the triple heater. And then as you open out this way and point back with the middle finger. Okay, so let's do this together. Breathing in. Breathing out, open. Middle finger pointing backwards just to get that extra stretch. And let go. Another. It don't have to be up like this, it's okay. You can just be relaxed in your straightness. One more. Feeling nice and protected. The heart feeling warm and open as much as it needs to be, but only as much as it needs to be. Okay. And then we're going to do a bit of an expression for the lungs where we're going to stretch up like this, and you can use your thumbs and forefingers open to kind of encourage the channels, and then breathe out as we drop down. So it'll be like a yawn, and you can fully use a yawn. It's a great thing. So breathing in if you want yawning. Letting go. Breathing in. And one more. Okay. And we're going to tap along the top, just underneath the collarbone. And we've got lung 1. We already found where the chest meets the shoulder. So just tap around lung 1 here for a bit. Lung 1 can be great if you have a tendency for the chest to kind of close off. Not in a sort of protective way like this, but more in a kind of a bit kind of sunk. So tapping lung 1, and then we're going to go down, just down the sort of, it's like you're on the top of the arm towards the thumb. Turn over, index finger just above that on the top of the outer aspect of the arm. Glad to hear that it's not painful anymore, Kim. Tapping down, it's like you're on the top inside of the arm for the thumb, index finger, top outer aspect of the arm. Nice. And then come across to the other side. Just underneath the collarbone, tapping out towards the shoulder. You meet the shoulder, so that's around lung 1. It's lovely for opening the chest, for helping the breath sink in. And it can be great for getting into that descending aspect I was talking about, where the breath comes in and then it descends down and gets caught by the kidneys, and it starts the whole sort of process of energy coming back up. Building up, and then it sends it back down. So it's like a recycling center for Qi. Okay. Once again, you're coming along the front, sort of top, down towards the thumb. Index finger, front, upper arm. Last time. Okay. Just straight down. And let's just do a few of these lovely arm swings. So get a bounce in your legs. And if you're sitting down, if you can, just swing the arms outwards. So you can play whether you're going straight back or more outwards to see what kind of effect it has for your shoulders and your lungs and your chest and your upper back. What do you prefer? Straight back or outwards? Or a bit of both? Why not? Have a play. So in front of you, the hands don't come any higher than shoulder height. And behind you, you just see how high they can go. But you're trying to have relaxed. So, Dinah, I will say that I always enjoyed your imagery of imagine that the heavens has a big bungee cord attached to your head and it's going doing, doing, doing. It's bouncing you up and down, doing, doing. And then we can add in the thumbs and the fingers to extend the channels out a bit. And you can start by putting the thumbs downwards, so the backs of the hands are facing each other, and see how that feels. This will open up the upper burner as well, so you can turn the hands now so that the palms are facing the ground. Straight behind you, further out, what feels nice? You can have the hands facing inwards. And you can have the hands facing upwards. So play with this in your own time of a morning to help open the chest, open the shoulders, open the breath. Okay, and now just relax the hands, relax the knees, let the shoulders be soft, and then if they're carrying on, they're carrying on until the movement comes to its own sort of stillness. And any movement inside, finding its own stillness. Okay. So, upper burner now. How's that feeling? It's a bit more even than it was before, compared with the middle burner. Okay. Nice. So for me, my super tight middle burner has eased a bit. My upper burner, which was a bit full, is now a bit more even, but still nice and open. So there's a bit more kind of communication through. So now we're going to get that feeling of the kidneys. So remember our kidney one nice and open. You can even do some foot circling if you really want to encourage it. Kidney one nice and open, feeling that connection with the ground and openness through the legs, connecting into the lower burner. Nice. And then we're going to breathe in from above. So before we breathed in from below, but now we're going to breathe in from above and connect down into the lower burner with the breath. So take a nice deep breath in into the lower burner. Hold it for a moment and relax, breathe out what you don't need. So breathing in, lung descends the Qi, connects with the kidneys, let it settle there as you breathe out. And again, breathing in, let it merge and then relax. Last one, breathing in, breathe the Qi in and down. Let it merge and connect with the kidneys. And relax, breathe out. Okay. Notice how that feels in the lower burner. Okay, we're going to come back now to the point of the week. Let me find this slides. So the point is called Zhongfu Central Palace, which is said to regulate the lung qi as well as descend the lung qi. So I talked about the descending factor. and how great that is. When the lung qi gets a bit blocked up or is a bit weak, sometimes that descending is not happening and we get extra phlegm and moisture and a bit too much energy up here in the shoulders. So descend, that connecting with the kidney quality is really helpful. And it regulates the lungs and the lung qi using this point. It's said to disperse heat from the chest as well. So if you've got heat in here and it's causing commotion, dryness, dry coughing, wheezing, a sort of a general feeling of too much energy and stuff up here, lung 1. I just want to read to you from a couple of these books because they're fantastic. Where was it? There was something here. So it regulates and tonifies or strengthens the lungs and regulates the upper burner in general and tonifies the ancestral qi, which is probably due to this connection with the kidneys because the kidneys are a route to our ancestral qi. So it's a really nice sort of pointing out how connected the lungs and kidneys are. It diffuses the lung qi and expands and relaxes the chest. So it diffuses in terms of it's meant to spread out everywhere. You know, it's meant to spread out all the way across all of the skin, in fact. And it clears heat. And there's something in here which was interesting as well. It can help to transform phlegm, which would, of course, be that heat causing the damp to become thick. And regulates the water passages and descends the stomach qi. So when we were working the point earlier, I was quite interested to see if anyone was going to get any effects in their torso more, in their body. So let's try this point again. Now that we've moved all of this qi around, let's come along, find the collarbone. I'm going to take this slide out. So let's all find the collarbone. So I'll just point mine out really obviously here. So there it is. And it meets the shoulder there. And so 1 thumb's width under. And sink the fingers in. And it's a lovely feeling, like when you find it, and even if it is a little bit sore, sometimes it just feels like it wants to sink right into your chest and into your lungs, and it can be quite a lovely feeling. Nice to see that it's so much calmer and easier in the chest for you, James. That's brilliant. I find myself sighing working this point. And it feels a little bit easier to go into it now that we've moved a bit of energy around. Okay, so I'm still finding it more local and more into the actual lungs. And the soreness has gone squidgy. Excellent. Nice to hear. So let's find it on the other side. So the collarbone meets the shoulder, come down by about 1 thumb's width. So on this side, there's still a bit of tension in the muscle. But if I'm just relaxing in with that feeling of connection, the arm, notice my arm isn't pushing, it's relaxing in, and I'm kind of sinking that. So I feel the chest opening, I feel the shoulder and the arm opening. Yeah, nice, that's where I'm feeling it. Be interesting to see where you're feeling it and what it's like from before. Okay, I'm also, now that I'm sort of staying with it and sinking deeper, starting to feel the connection deeper down into the kidneys and lower back. Lovely. Kidney 1. Lung 1 is a fantastic point to work with someone else, as well as with yourself. What else was I going to do? Oh, yes. We're going to do a bit of a Qi Gong form. And I'm just going to make sure that when we come round, I'm going to just get us to connect with the energy across the lung 1 point as we're moving through the form. Just see what it looks like. Okay, so when you've had enough time playing with your lung point, we're going to be standing, and you can do this sitting down as well. So if you're sitting, stay sitting. So we're going to bring our hands up, connect with the heavens, allowing that quality of Qi to come down, feeling it into the head, behind the head, and down the spine. So it's like you're pointing it down behind you. And then around, and normally we just come around and into the center, but here I'd like you to come around and across lung 1. Connect with lung 1 for a moment. You don't have to be pressing, you're just energetically connecting. Now come to the center and open around the ribs and stroking around the kidneys and the hips and down the outside of the body towards the ground. Connect with the earth, and then allowing that earth connection up through the inner aspect of the body and through the central channel to the heart, and then open out the heart, open out the chest, allow that lung 1 to be relaxing the chest and unfold like a scroll to the very edges. And then we're reaching up again, allowing that heavens Qi that we often breathe in to breathe in through the whole body, down the back, around, connect with lung 1, and then the center of the body, the ribs, the spine, outside edges of the body. This is the yang aspect of the heavens Qi coming down to the earth. The earth, that lovely solid yin quality, rising up through the yin aspect of the body, inside of the legs, inside of the front of the body, to the heart and the chest. And rolling out and extending. Okay. Go through this again. Remember to connect with lung 1 in the central channel and the opening of the ribs and the hips. Outer aspect of the legs, inner aspect of the legs from the earth, that's all yin. Up to the heart and the chest. Breathe in. Never underestimate a good sigh. Okay, and then you can do it a bit more quickly if you like to, and it feels slightly different. And it's quite nice. Give it a go. Sinking that Qi in from above, round, connect with lung 1, and around the ribs, around the hips, outside, inside, up the center to the heart and chest, and open. Letting you go in your own time. We'll just do a couple more rounds. Okay. And then last time opening out. And then bring that in. Connect with lung 1 again. Fingertips, thumbs, palms over the top, however you like. And then just bring that down to your Dantian, connecting with the lower burner again if you want to. And just taking a moment to notice overall, how does that sense of your body, your energy, your sense of you as well, how's that now? And how is it different from when we first started the class to now? How are you now? Interesting. Okay. If you need to give a little bit of a shakeout, give a little bit of a shakeout. And an unblocked me. Nice to hear, Kim. Fantastic. Now, there's something that someone had requested, and I don't know if they're here today. On one of the college classes, I did an exercise with the eyes and the neck, which is to do with the vagus nerve as well as with our sense of vision. And I said that I would share it in a Wednesday class, and we've got a few minutes. So I'm going to do that. Oh, Sonia, I'm really glad that it's the first time you found Lung 1. Excellent. So just taking a moment to notice, how is your neck doing again? And notice also how your eyes are feeling. How does your sense of like vision and looking? Okay, neck, shoulders, and also just generally a sense of your nervous system. It's probably a bit more relaxed now anyway, because we've been doing a lovely class. But we're going to do one exercise. I promised I'd do it, and I wanted to share it with you. So here we go. We're going to start by looking to one side with our eyes, as pretty much as far as the eyes look comfortably, but without turning our head. So take your eyes to one side, and I'll count. And I just want you to breathe nice and freely and slowly. So breathing in, breathe out and look to one side. Try not to turn the head. Okay, and then breathing in, bringing the eyes forwards again. And relax. Okay, we're going to breathe in and breathe out, looking to the other side, trying not to turn the head. Count to 9. 6, 7, 8, 9. Breathing in, coming back. Oh, it's starting to turn my head. Okay, and this time we're going to turn the whole head and then turn the eyes. So breathing in, breathing out, turn the head but without turning the shoulders, and then turn the eyes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Breathing in, coming back. Okay. I'm going to do the same on the other side. So breathing in, breathe out, turn the head without turning the shoulders, turn the eyes, counting to 9, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and breathing in, coming back to center. And now for me, I always find it feels like my eyes are a bit kind of... So what's really helpful is now having a sense of gently receiving. You're not looking out, you're allowing the vision, the light to come in to you. And you're just settling in with a nice relaxed neck, a bit more of a relaxed nervous system, allowing things to come in their own time. Okay, I hope that was all right. I hope that was interesting. I'm going to do, just to check in, how do you feel now? Ta-da! There's a poll for you all to put in. More balanced, about the same, less balanced, it can happen. Less balanced, someone has said, that's okay, that can happen. It's nice to give yourself a bit of a shake off afterwards, have a bit of a breathe out, and notice if it's more a sort of a, if it's too much up here, connect lower stuff. If you're feeling a bit kind of done in, then just take time to breathe in up here. So I'm going to go back to the chat now. A lung one healing reaction, possibly. It possibly is. Go with it, drink lots of water. And to finish off, I would just like us to take a moment again. Imagine that we have this lovely group, this circle that's all of us here, and just have a moment of thanking each other. Thank you for being in the class. Thank you for making it what it is. It's so lovely to have this, and enjoy the rest of your day. And we shall see you next week. And because this was meant to be Shikura this week, you will actually have me again next week. So see you then. Thank you very much, Dinah, for being on the chat, by the way. I know you always do a wonderful job with everyone. Big love. Bye-bye.